Hey everyone, thanks for clicking on my Run White and Blue 7.4 mile race video and follow-up review of the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite 3. Con and I really appreciate you viewing this channel, so go ahead and hit like, subscribe, or share the video, and ding the bell for notifications, and happy Independence Day. Ah. Chaz Williman.
There you are.
There you go. Thank you very much.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Good luck. You got a good number at least.
Yeah, 16. I like it. All right, start here, go through around this side of this little neighborhood, down to this loop. There's some nice and shade in here. Then finish this loop. And then turn right here, Van Story. There's a lot of hills on this road. And when we come here, I'm gonna do a lap and a half around Reese. That's nice and downhill, but then this is all uphill and exposed. We only do that the first loop. Got about 2 miles left when you get here. Come pass by the finish, do a whole nother loop of Reese, which is pretty hilly. And then the finish is uphill, which is pretty awful. Alright everyone, here is my gear flat lay for tomorrow, July 4th's Run White and Blue 7.4 miler. Reckless running singlet with my bib on it, good bib number. I'm gonna have these BOA Stars and Stripes split shorts as my racing shorts, pretty much the only day of the year that I wear them. Even my warm-up shoes, the Hoka Skyward X, are red, white, and blue. Last year I had some red, white, and blue socks by another sock brand, and I ended up getting blistered. So I'm going to stick with my tried and true Injinjis. Then I've got Goodr's holiday-themed aviator glasses, which, yeah, of course they are red, white, and blue. Unless I turn them at this direction, then they're blue, white, and red. So maybe I'll wear them again for 14 Juillet, for Bastille Day. Or, if I can turn them this way, red, white, blue, top to bottom, they would be Dutch, I guess. But, you know, if they were Dutch, they would be all in orange anyway. Speaking of orange, how's that orange? The Puma Deviate Nitro Elite 3 will be my race shoe of choice. I've been liking this one a lot lately for fast stuff and for races, so I think this will be a good test of it. All right, that's all my gear. So it's going to be a hot one for the race. At start time, it's going to be about 74 degrees Fahrenheit. If we look at the humidity, it'll be about 86% humidity at the start time, so a dew point of about 70 degrees. That means it feels like of close to 80 degrees. So the 7.4 mile race, it is a tough event. I do have a video from last year, if you watched it. Just a lot of rolling and grinding hills on that course, and it's July 4th, so it's the middle of summer, and as you saw from the weather forecast, it's going to be hot and humid, so that will wear on you as well. 7.4 miles is a unique distance. The closest thing it is to that might be considered regular is 12K, which itself is an uncommon distance. However, it would be unwise to race this like a 12K or like a heavy 10K. It's really something you have to treat more like a 15K or even a longer distance. Last year when I did this race, I averaged 6:36 per mile pace according to my watch, I think. And then I raced a marathon 3 months later at 10 seconds per mile faster than that. So it won't be the fastest race. It's really one that will require effort management and strength endurance. Leg speed isn't going to matter as much on this one.
People that are right, 8, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mile in back. All my walkers.
About 10 minutes to start. Getting to the starting lineup here.
They're on the course. Follow their direction, please. Thank your cops as you run by them. They're there for your safety. Okay. Try to stay on course. Remember, the outside lane is open to live traffic, so please stay within the course. Okay, we're gonna get going in about 1 minute. Shake yourselves out.
Cooch, Owen, have a good race.
Good luck to you guys.
20 seconds. 15. 10, 9, 8,
Have a good race, Jake.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Go speed for need.
Woo! All right. Chaz, go get it, man. All right, Chaz. Go get him, buddy. Reel him in.
Awesome. This is where the hard part starts.
The roads are open.
That 5K in, somewhere around a 6:15 pace. You?
Go left.
Is it all water?
Thanks, guys. Just over 5 miles in. About 6:17 overall. Better than last year so far. 2 miles left. Next time I'm on this hill, it'll be toward the finish. Lap number 1, which means 1.7 miles left. Yeah, Bill. Way to finish. Well, on some 7.4 kilometer runners. About a mile and a half left, maybe less. Go runners.
Tell me.
Looks like I went through 10K in about 39 and a half. I'll take it, maybe 39. About half a mile left from here. It's go time. CCMF.
There you go, Chaz. Yeah, baby.
Go! Coming into the finish.
That's right, it's the Huntersville. Run the white and blue. Here, second place. 7 miler right there. Great job, my man.
Second place overall, which I'm satisfied with. I didn't think I was gonna even get that. Jake took it from the start, as I knew he would. He probably finished 4 or 5 minutes ahead of me. That kid is fast. And then Jeff was ahead of me for about 3/4 of a mile. When I caught up to him, he and I were just kind of running together. He was on my shoulder, he was in my pocket until about mile 4.5. And then the distance started opening up as we were getting on the exposed uphill section of Boren. And then I never looked behind me, but I think it just kind of opened up from there. I think I probably had second place by 30 or 40 seconds. We'll call that a success. Hey, little Corey. Hey, buddy. Oh, you remind me of my old baby. You a star, all right. Oh, yeah. Archie, that's a great name. And a pug.
45, 46. Give it up for Chaz Williman. And first place from Charlotte with a gun time of 42:03.
Okay, it's race recap time for the Run White and Blue 7.4 miler, and I got second place overall. This is the third time I've gotten second place at this event. I've won it once and I came in 6th place once, but I've got a lot of these plaques built up now. I keep on asking myself why I keep going back to this event when it's so hard and hilly and hot, but it really is a well-managed, well-directed event, and race director Bear Robinson can take all the credit for that. It's also a unique distance, you know, and 7.4 miles is not something you run often. So you don't need to worry about a PR for 7.4 miles or anything. I mean, I guess a course PR. I haven't looked at all of my results to see if this is a course PR or not. It's one of the faster times I've run it, which is good considering how hot it was and the fact that I have a lot of miles on my legs. Anyway, you don't have to worry about pace so much. This is really one that you can strategize and worry about racing for position. And I do love to race for position. I can get a bit competitive sometimes. From the very start, I knew that Jacob Firullo was going to get out there in front and stay out there. He's won this a couple of times. And last year when he won it, he was minutes ahead of second place. He was running at about a 5:30 pace. So I wasn't planning on following young Jacob. Jeff, who I've seen at several of the races, also went out ahead of me. He did not get out ahead of me as I thought he would. Usually he goes out ahead and then I will reel him in. I don't think he ever got farther away than, say, 30 meters or so. I reeled in Jeff at around 3/4 of a mile, and immediately it was evident that he was going to sit on my shoulder and run in my pocket for as long as he could, and hope to either take second place back or hope to hang on to the end and then try and pass me at the end. And he was going to let me do the work, I guess. I was pretty sure I was going to be able to shake him at the end, but there were quite a few miles where it was just me running and him kind of running in my pocket. I could tell when the sun was at our back with our shadows right there. I wasn't going to make it easy for him to pass. There were times, especially on the downhills, I could hear him kind of quick stepping and I could hear him on one side of me or the other. And I was not going to make it easy for him to pass me, but I wasn't going to spend any extra effort in the pacing in order to keep ahead of him, because like I said, this race is about effort management. So I just kind of used my lane position, and I would kind of drift over to close the door here or there. If he was going to make a move, it was going to be at a time of my choosing, and I was going to make him commit to passing me by going wide and doing it on one of the long exposed uphills later in the course. Once we finally got there, he didn't make that move. He started fading back a little bit, and I wasn't about to look over my shoulder, but I heard the footsteps fade behind, and the footsteps never came back. So the last 2.5 to 3 miles, I was, for all intents and purposes, running on my own and kind of had broken off. So Jacob was nowhere in reach ahead of me, and as far as I knew, I had some space ahead of third place. Effort management was still the key there, because the middle and the back end has some long grinding hills, and the sun only gets higher as that happens. So I was keeping track of my pace, but not really worrying if the pace slowed overall a little bit. It was more about making sure I had something in the tank. Finding that extra gear when I needed it, but saving the last gear. I think if someone is a threat to come up behind you, you need to have a last gear that they don't know about. So that if I were on that hill and I heard someone's footsteps, I would be able to pull something else out and have a kick at the end. Now, I was closing in the last 1/4 mile and definitely speeding up, and I'll show you on the pace here, but I definitely left the last gear in the tank, just in case I needed it to defend my place, because this race only does first place and second place overall, and then first and second for each age group. So I wanted to maintain my overall position. And that happened. I finished 45:45. I stopped my watch at 45:49, so when I bring up the Strava here, that's why I will say that. And I was very happy with my effort. Let's throw up the effort from Strava here. Now, if you are a Strava subscriber, it will give you a race analysis every time you tag a run as a race. And looking through this, the smoothed version, it looks kind of out of control, faster, slower, but that kind of goes with the undulation of the terrain. If I switch over to the splits, Strava will take its own mile splits, then that kind of evens out a little bit. And then if I switch to GAP, which is grade adjusted pace, which it goes purple here, then you will see that it evens out by effort even more. It's pretty much a straight line until I kind of found that second to last gear at the very end of the race there in that last piece. Yeah, so I thought my effort management was pretty good. And if you look at the top, if you look at the time stamps at the top, when you label your race as a race, it will split it up into fourths, or it'll split it up into 5Ks if it's a longer race. But if the first fourth of the race went by in 11 minutes 22 seconds, the second fourth went by in 11 minutes 32 seconds, third fourth went by in 11 minutes 25 seconds, and then the last one, if you go by my 45 time, went by in 11 minutes 26 seconds. So that's about as even as you can make those segments. Now, on to the shoe talk. The Puma Deviate Nitro Elite 3, and this was really kind of a follow-up to this shoe. Having taken it on a couple workouts and now a couple of races, I can really say that this shoe is opening up. For this length of race, this was a 45-minute race. I think anything up to an hour, it is superb for, and would be a good challenge to something like the ASICS Metaspeed Edge Paris. Even on my cool down, I left this on my feet, and it did not seem unforgiving at all. I think this midsole has opened up a little bit, maybe even gotten a little bit softer, but retained its energy return, still very bouncy. And so I think the more I run in this shoe, the more I would consider it for things leading up to a half marathon. I still don't know about marathon yet, but definitely up to a half marathon. It's still kind of best for things that are 60 minutes and below. The Puma grip, I talk about outsole grip and especially Puma grip a lot. It really is something on the road when you're running fast and putting in a solid effort and just have the confidence of the bite of the midsole into the tarmac with every step. Whether you're on a twisty and windy course and cornering, or whether you're just varying your effort, going with the ebbs and flows and the surges of a race, and know that you are not going to have any trouble with the purchase of the surface in this shoe. I want to talk about the upper. The upper is very breathable. It's translucent. I talked about that when I did the full review. If you look at a picture from right after the race, you'll see that my singlet, my shorts, every part of me is soaked with sweat. I did not take any water, did not pour any water on me, so all of that is me. That is all my sweat. And I usually don't sweat a lot, but that lets you know how humid it was today. And everything was just clung to me so that I would have had to peel it, except for my socks and my shoes. My feet felt great, and they did not feel overheated. They did not feel squishy. I did not feel sweat building up in my feet. The upper was superb for warm weather. Whether or not it will be cold in colder weather, that remains to be seen. I'm usually one who worries more about warmer weather than about colder weather. There's room in the shoe if I wanted to wear thicker Injinji toe socks if I wanted to. But my torso, if I was going in the low sixes, 6:15 to 6:18 pace, it was traveling at 9.5 miles per hour, maybe 15 to 16 kilometers per hour. But my feet were at any given time in the stride phase, moving twice that speed and allowing that air to just rush in and take away a lot of that moisture that would have built up. So I don't spend enough time talking about uppers in shoes. With this shoe, I've talked a lot about the midsole and a lot about the outsole, but the upper has game too. The only thing I might consider changing is the laces. And, I could always take an old pair of Vaporflies or Alphaflies and get those serrated laces and put them in there. But they stayed tied. So yes, high marks for the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite 3. If you get a chance to get one, they should be out in a couple of colors now, not just this prototype color. Then I suggest picking one up, especially if you are like me and eyeing some faster races for the summer or early fall. That's my shoe talk. Happy Independence Day to everyone here in the States, and just happy day, period, to anyone who does not celebrate. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ding the bell for notifications, share the video, and I will see you on the next run.